Hi everyone and welcome to my Craft Man Cave. I've got another art journal page for you here, but before I get on to that I've just got a little something I want to say. About a week or so ago I went away on vacation, just a short vacation. It was only about a week or so. And just before I went away on vacation I celebrated my 500th subscriber, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm completely over the moon and I went away on holiday on a complete high. When I got back, something happened. I received an email from a lady yesterday, a lady called Brenda from Texas. And Brenda pointed out that as of a day or so ago I'd hit 1,100 subscribers and I didn't even notice. So in the week since going on holiday to coming back, I've now gone over 1,100 subscribers. I haven't even finished creating the canvas for the 500th subscriber giveaway that I did yet. I've been that busy since I got back, catching up with work, with doing domestic things. This is the first time that I've actually been able to get into my craft room to actually have a play. I haven't even created that canvas for Marianne yet, which is my next job. And I'm already over 1,000 subscribers. So for those new subscribers, thank you. Thank you so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel. I'm really humbled that you're all enjoying what you're seeing so much that you're wanting to stick around and wanting to see more. That's great. There's another one in a second. So, but I will do another giveaway, but just be patient please. I just need to get the canvas done for Marianne and get that shipped out to the US to her, and I would like for her to receive the canvas first before I show you guys what I did for her. So I've already had conversations with Marianne, and she's given me an indication of the sort of things that she would like to see on her canvas, so that's going to be a blast because it's going to be something different for me too, some colours that I haven't used before. So I'm really looking forward to doing the canvas for Marianne. Once that's out the way and done and dusted, I will do another 1,000 subscriber giveaway, but you never know, at that point it might be 1,500 if people keep joining at the rate that they are doing at the moment. But anyway, enough rambling from me. As you can see, I'm just thrilled to bits. Can't believe it, but I'm thrilled to bits. So onto the new canvas. Oh, not the new canvas, onto the next art journal page. So this is a prompt from journal52.com. It's for week 21, which was the Friday when I actually went away on my short vacation. So this one is for week 21 and I've still got to do week 22 yet. So you've got that one to come soon in a few days. So I'm going to switch over now and you can see how I created this page. So I'm going to begin using my Strathmore Mixed Media Journal, and I'm using tissue paper from Hazel and Ruby. I've had this in my stash forever and I don't know where I got it from, so I'm going to use it up. And I'm just going to stick it down using matte medium. Now you can tell I've been away for a while because I make a complete mess of doing this, and I have about 3 or 4 attempts before I actually get it right. Who would have thought sticking tissue paper down would be so difficult? So I'm adding another coat of gel medium here on the page because I'd taken so long trying to position this tissue paper that it had actually dried already. There you go, that wasn't so hard now, was it, Mike? Now as I'm smoothing it down, I catch it with my ring and end up ripping a big hole in it. There you go, you see. completely out of practice, but that doesn't matter because I'm going to be covering that part of the page up later on anyway. So I'm just going to remove my page protectors, and then I'm going to go and grab my paints. So I'm using the Peacock Feathers Distress Paint from Ranger and Tim Holtz on the top part of the page, and I'm just going to dab it on, and I'm then going to blend that paint into the tissue paper. Now I'm not using a baby wipe this time because I'd run out while I was away. I hadn't realised that I'd run out, and I didn't have any in stock, so I just used standard kitchen roll for this, which worked just as well. And now this is the Mermaid Lagoon, one of the new colours for 2015. And just blending that in again with the piece of kitchen roll, a clean piece of kitchen roll this time. I'm just dabbing and blending the colours so that it tones and creates a kind of ombre effect on the page with the paint. So just making sure it's well and truly dried before I move on to the next stage, and I'm here just tearing off the excess tissue paper from around the edges of the pages, just leaving what I need behind. So this is a piece of very, very inexpensive bath sponge, and all I've done is just tear a chunk off, and I'm pulling some holes and making it all uneven because I want to use this to do some stippling on my page. And I'm going to use some very inexpensive white paint from Docrafts. This is the Docraft Artiste range of acrylic paints, very, very inexpensive. And I'm just going to dab that paint across the page to create what I hope will end up looking like some cloud effects. Now you could go back in with a slightly darker colour just to add a few more depths in this. Just add another layer of maybe like a slight light grey, and that will kind of make them a bit more three-dimensional, but I only wanted a hint, so I just stuck with the white. I'm just going to give it a heat blast over with the heat tool just to make sure everything's nice and dry. Okay, so I'm now going to mix a couple of colours together. I have the black or the noir from Docrafts again, and the Storm Cloud White, which is a slightly off-white. I'm just going to mix them together to create a grey colour for my next part. So when I'm happy with the colour, I've cut 2 triangles of paper, and I'm going to cover one side completely in the grey paint and half of the reverse side. Now you'll see me flip backwards and forwards on this, and also on a second piece I've got 2 triangles that I'm going to use, and I'm going to dry them off with the heat tool in between each one. Now I'm not too bothered about getting an even coverage of paint. I don't mind if you can see the brush strokes, and it doesn't matter if it's a bit mottled or whether it's a little uneven, as you'll see why in a little while. This is one of those art journal pages where you have an idea and you think, oh, that might be a good idea to do. But you have no idea whether it's going to work or not. So this really is a kind of experimental page, and I was prepared for this entire page not to work. If that was going to be the case, if it didn't work, then it would have been one of those that I might have still shown you, or it might have just been one of those pages that I am a bit too ashamed to show and just consigned to history, really. It doesn't happen very often, but now and again I do a page that I think there's no way on earth I'm going to let anybody see that one. I am still learning. I still consider myself a beginner art journaler. I have only been doing this since July 2014, so it's just coming up to a year now. So yeah, I still have a heck of a lot to learn, and I'm no expert by any means. So I'm just giving those half triangle pages a second coat just to give it a bit more of an even coverage. You can still see the brush marks and you can still see it isn't quite perfect, which is fine for what I'm going to be doing next. So giving it a final heat blast with the heat tool. Notice I'm back to my pink one because the Ranger one got thrown in the bin. Okay, so the triangles are now complete and dry, and you can see I've now folded them into smaller triangles. And this is what I'm going to do with them. This is a stamp set that I got as a free cover mount with a magazine that I purchased, and I thought, oh, that looks fantastic. Feather stamps. And I'm going to be using an archival ink in jet black, and I'm going to cover the whole of the triangles with the feather stamp. Now this video is speeded up at twice its normal speed, but because this process takes a while to do, in a moment I'm actually going to jump into 4 times speed, because you don't want to sit there and watch me just do a load of repetitive stamping. And there we go, 4 times. Either that or I'm working very quickly. I'm not too bothered about getting a complete total perfect impression with this stamp. It doesn't matter that much that there's differences in the colour tone on each of the stamps, because it just adds to the overall effect. Okay, now that the stamping is complete, can you guess what I'm going to do with these? So just using a standard pair of scissors, I'm freeform, just cutting out a shape of a wing. So I'm going to do one side first, and then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to use the first one as a template for the second one. And there you go, we now have a nice pair of wings. Now I'm just going to use some multi-purpose glue just to stick this down into my art journal once I've taken the clogged top off. There we go. And I'm just going to line those up with the center crease in the page when I stick them down. Now using this type of glue gives you what I call a little bit of wiggle room. So you can stick it down, but it stays wet for a little while before it grabs, so you can maneuver and get it into the right position. It allows you to play a little bit. There you go, just see me moving it up before it actually grabs onto the page. So it's a really useful glue to have. So when I was creating these and originally cutting out my triangle pieces of card, I made sure that when they were folded, that they did actually fit within the confines of the borders of the small journal, so they weren't poking out. So I did have a little bit of a tester before I actually started with it. Okay, so we're now on to our stamped quote. I'm going to use my Tim Holtz One Text stamps again. These are one of my go-to stamp sets. They are just absolutely fantastic for almost any kind of quote that you can think of. They are kind of distressed, but you can always go back over again with a black pen if you want to make them more prominent and stand out more, and you can use a white pen to highlight the letters if you're so inclined. And because the page is all about wings, the prompt was all about wings, I just had to use a quote from that fantastic song by Bette Midler, "You Are the Wind Beneath My Wings," which was from the film Beaches. One of the hardest things when you're videoing a process like this and you're trying to make sure that you've got everything in frame, everything in shot, it's really difficult to keep your head out of the way because of the way that the camera's angled and the way you have to lean in to do things. Sometimes you do get your head in shot, but you know, it's one of those things where sometimes it's unavoidable. And that's pretty much it, boys and girls. All I have to do now is just to add a little bit of detail in to those wings. Now, I'm just going to use a Sharpie white poster pen and just add a couple of lines just to give some extra dimension and effect to the page, just to give the effect of kind of rows and rows of feathers. But it doesn't have to be perfect and it doesn't have to be exact because, hey, it's an art journal and nothing has to be perfect. And I'm calling this page done. So all I have to do now is to date stamp somewhere on the page and then sign it, and then we are finished for another art journal page. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me create this page, and you'll join me again real soon for my next one. And don't forget, if you enjoyed watching the video, give it a thumbs up so YouTube know that you want to see more from me. And if you haven't subscribed already, why not? Just click that subscribe button at the end.